really well. It's your main man Anil coming live from Immunity for the Community once again. How is everybody doing? How are you all feeling this weekend? I'm feeling amazing. I just went out with a friend yesterday after ages, and I gotta say, I'm feeling really recharged and inspired to do this podcast. And today it's going to be a very special topic that I want to go through with you, and that is the power of self-education and unlearning old patterns. You heard that right, the power of self-education. I'm going to walk you through what that is, what that entails, and then go into the depth of what that truly helps you with in terms of goal setting and visualization and pushing forward to the better future, to a compelling future. So what I want to share with everybody is that part of my healing journey and part of my growth journey has actually been self-education. You know, I learned a lot of great skills from university. I learned how to goal set. I learned life skills, cooking, studying modules, how to deal with pressure, being able to prioritize tasks. But one thing that it really lacked was it lacked that kind of emotional clarity, if you like. So the power of self-education is actually being able to hold yourself accountable, but also feel good about yourself whilst you do it. Because a lot of the time when we go towards that goal, we have a lot of pressure associated with it. So actually, it is more of an internal battle than it is an external battle. And one of the problems with the present education system is it doesn't teach you how to fortify your inner self. So meditation is definitely one of the tools that has helped me in fortifying my inner self to manifest what I want to do outside of me. But the power of self-education is that with the likes of Tony Robbins, Ed Milet, you know, even people like T.D. Jakes, who I look up to, Emily Fletcher, Vishen Likhani, all these great people from Mind Valley, you know, Jeffrey Allen. The power of self-education is that it actually teaches you how to go towards the goal. And what do I mean by that? Well, the present education system actually teaches us to go away from failure. But if you know anything about the subconscious mind, what it tends to do is it goes toward what we bring our attention to. So if we bring our attention to what's wrong, we genuinely attract what's wrong, don't we? So although we know what we must do, a lot of the time in the education system, we're trained when we go towards a goal, whether it be an exam or any kind of achievement, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. So in the back of our mind, we're thinking about what we mustn't do. But if we actually wire ourselves to see it as if it's actually happened now, in the future state right here and now, we can actually use that self-education tool to go towards that goal and succeed, because that's the power of self-education. Self-education encodes you and wires you in such a way that you'll be able to understand what you're reading and then be able to go towards it and actually remember it. You see, that's the difference between regular style of education and self-education. Self-education and self-development actually teaches you to feel good about yourself. And as you feel good about yourself, you actually tend to do better. A lot of the time we are trained by going towards the goal that we are only enough once we have that goal, but we have to feel that we are enough now before we go into that goal. So we must feel that we are enough now in this moment and see ourselves visualizing that we have achieved the goal, because that's the only way that we truly make it happen. You know, if ever you've really thought about it, whenever you told yourself, you know, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, I can't lose these 10 pounds, don't you fail? It's because the cells in your body have been told that you are going to fail. So what you have to do is you have to train your mind to actually believe that you are going to do it. You train your mind to actually believe you are healed. That was a big one for me. You know, I had to really train myself to believe that I'm okay. And that took a lot of inner work in my healing journey. But now I accept it. Now my body's like, yeah, I'm okay, I'm well. And there's no pushback. There's no maybe, there's no if, there's no but. I accept myself. I am healthy. I am well. And I can look after myself. And that is what self-education helps you with. It helps you with the actual pure belief that you can do it. See, one of the problems with the regular style of education, or the traditional style of education, is that the learning methods are out of date, the actual learning style is out of date, and what we were learning about is no longer going to be relevant in 5 or 10 years. The things that we learn about now will very likely be outdated in 5 or 10 years. You only have to look at things like electric vehicles and automation and see how that has pretty much wiped out a lot of education from 5 years before. So people really have to understand that they need to constantly stay in that personal development area. It's like watching the news, but watching the news without being absorbed into the negativity of it. That's what personal development is. It's really helping you to understand what's going on out there, and then be able to actually use those tools in self-development to go towards your goal. So what is one example that I'm talking about? Well, one example I'm talking about is priming. So with priming, I do priming every day, the Tony Robbins priming. And how that starts is, it starts with a breathing exercise where you breathe in and out, and you put yourself in a peak state of focus, and you go in, out, in, out, in, out, and you're basically moving your body, you're moving your physiology to get yourself to focus in on what he's saying, and get yourself in that state of, I'm going to go and achieve this goal. Then the priming actually focuses you on 3 moments that you can feel grateful for. When you go into 3 moments that you can feel grateful for, you lose any kind of focus on fear. That's essentially why priming is so important. Priming is very important for resolving fear and taking you towards gratitude, because a lot of the time negative thoughts, they come about in the morning. So you may find that you start the day and you need something to just settle yourself down. The priming will do that. Another meditation that can do that is Isha Kriya as well, but I'll take you through the next step of priming. So what that does is, once you go into that state of gratitude, you remember and you physically can see yourself in that moment. So once you can see yourself in that moment, you go, I'm grateful I did that, and I felt good in that moment. I feel good right now because my body is accepting myself in that moment. And for me, my 3 favorite moments that I can feel grateful for are: 1, walking on fire, because it resolved my irrational fear. It took me out of every kind of conditioning you could think of. When I walked on fire, after that, I had absolutely no more like irrational fear, like the kind that just keeps recycling. I got past all that irrational fear. My second moment I'm grateful for is my birthday in Covent Gardens. That was a really nice birthday I spent with my family. I went to some amazing restaurants, the Covent Gardens restaurant over there. And then the third moment is, I'll remember a moment where I shared it with a few friends. If it was a recent hangout with my friends, or one in the last couple of months or last couple of years, because that connects me to my friends, connects me to people. So what you're doing in that moment is you're getting yourself to connect to your gratitude, and you're allowing yourself to feel that self-love. So once you feel that self-love, you feel connected, you feel okay. You're like, I'm okay, I got this. Then we go into 3 goals. Now once you go into the 3 goals, you visualize the goal as if it's happening. So you might want to be going for a weight loss goal this week, and you're like, I want to lose 3 pounds. Here's how you do it with the priming. You visualize yourself in the priming. You see yourself at the start of the week, full energy, ready to go. You see yourself at work. You see yourself eating healthily, preparing your food day in, day out, every day. You see yourself hitting the weights, hitting the gym, getting in shape. You see yourself sweating it off. You see yourself at the end of the workout relieved, happy you've pushed through and you've done it. You come home and you start the cycle again. And in the final part of that visualization, you see yourself weighing in on the scale, and you visualize yourself 3 pounds lighter than what you were at the start of the week. That's how you do it. It is really that simple. If you can calm the mind and you can calm those negative thoughts down with that priming, you can really believe in that goal. And if you do this enough times and you follow through and you get it, eventually you wire yourself now to go towards your goals, and you become the manifestation state. That is what I mean by the power of self-education, because what it can do is it can help you break past old habits, old patterns that have not served you, survival patterns that do not serve you, survival patterns of like, if this happens, then I've got this plan B, plan B. Tony Robbins said it best. What happens when you burn the boats? You never go back. So you can't give yourself that way out of, if I got this plan B, if I got this plan C, if I fail, you just can't think like that. You have to just believe in yourself and look at it that every time you try and you don't get it, you learn and you get better each time, and then you get better the next time, and then you do get it and you win and you get what you've been looking for and you succeed. That's how you train your mind, because the priming teaches you that that's how you are. It teaches you to go past that feeling of survival, and it helps you to get out of that and into those moments you're grateful for. After you go through the three goals, you then go into moments that you're grateful for. This could be moments of laughter, moments of joy, moments where you were happy, moments where you were funny, moments where you just felt amazing, moments where you were in flow, you achieved a goal, you went on holiday, you were in a relationship, you were thriving, you were happy, you were loving on somebody so much, you were loved by somebody so much, you were happy with your friends, you were just living it up. Like, you could make it any moment you're grateful for. It could be even a cup of tea. There's no limit to what you can be grateful for. That is the difference between fear and gratitude. Gratitude has absolutely no limit of what you can be grateful for, and ironically, fear limits you. See the difference? See the difference? Gratitude, immeasurable. Fear limits you. So you got gratitude up here. Fear is the most damaging emotion, and it's the one emotion that stops a lot of people from following through. And that's why I took on the self-education part of my healing journey, because I felt that this is an important part of growing and becoming more. To truly grow and become more, we have to use our time and wire ourselves and use it as seed time to go towards what we want. It takes a process, and the best part about the self-education system is that it teaches you to enjoy the process. A lot of the time, the way that we're wired is that we only focus on the outcome, and it creates a feeling of like, it doesn't create that permanent learning. So the self-education way actually teaches you to enjoy the process. Every little win you count, every little step you count. If you're going for that £10 lost in a month goal with me, I'm going to count those little wins for you. Guess what? I'm going to say £1 lost this week, that's a win. £2 lost next week, that's a win. No pounds lost, that's still a win, because you haven't gained any. The next one, £3 lost, that's a win. Okay, you didn't get the £10, but guess what? You lost 7, you lost £6. That's still a win. You still lost more than what you had. And that's how I would do it with you. I will coach you one-to-one and teach you about taking those small, quick wins. And those little wins will stack in your mind as steps towards the bigger goal. It's like anything. If you have those little wins, you can get that big win very easily. You don't win a championship in one game. You win a championship in a sprint. Not in a sprint, in a marathon. I correct myself. Life is not a sprint, it is a marathon. So you win games, and then you win a championship. That's how a goal is. You create that inner certainty, that confidence. You celebrate those smaller wins, and then eventually you keep stepping up and up and up and up, and then bam, you get that big win. And the best part about self-education is it creates permanent learning. It creates learning, because who you have to be to step into that new identity actually changes who you are. So it changes who you were from before you were going for that goal, where you could not get past it, or you reached a point of you were as good as you could be up to that moment, and you just stifling, or you were stagnant, to where now you've grown so beyond that you believe you can do anything if you just put your mind to it. Now everything is of course in steps, but the power of self-education is that it actually teaches you how to succeed. It does not put it on the outcome. A lot of people fail purely because they put all the weight on the physical outcome. There is no appreciation of the process. When you love the process, the outcome becomes amazing. You love that process, you change into a whole new person. Once you change into a whole new person, that final goal, it's the tick on the box, and you got that trophy and you got that honor. But guess what? You've changed in the process. You've become better adapting to the process. And when you're better at adapting to change, you're automatically better anyway as a person, because now you'll be able to try and fail, try and fail. Well, not try and fail, learn and keep going, learn and keep going. And you won't see failure as something that is a bad thing. You'll see it as something that will cause you to grow, and that is really why I have read books from the likes of T.D. Jakes, the likes of Tony Robbins, the likes of Tony Bazan, even the likes of Ed Milet. I will watch his podcast, Tom Billio, and very good role models who teach you about emotional intelligence, who teach you about the power of self-belief, the power of gratitude. Those powers of gratitude actually break those old patterns, and that really is essentially why I've started really pushing through on the boxing, because I had no idea how I was going to do it. I just had to show up. I just had to be willing to show up, and now I've showed up over and over again to keep on boxing. That's why you're seeing that I'm showing up better than I was before, because I've stacked those little wins. You see what I'm saying? So although I was not necessarily as comfortable to box at the beginning, I started boxing, and eventually now I can throw those hooks and jabs very well, and I'm going to keep getting better and better and better each time I show up, because I've wired myself to go towards that goal, and I believe it can happen. So it's how it happens. It happens through positive stacking, because we can very easily get negatively stacked. And this is why we use meditation to take down that negative stacking, but we also use the priming and the visualization to put up the positive stacking. But if you put up the positive stacking enough, there's going to come a point where you won't get heavily stacked. You will get maybe a little bit, but you won't get heavily stacked to where it's going to stop you. It's not going to pile in on you at that point, because you're using the power of meditation, using the power of self-healing to actually get past all of that. And that's really what it is. That's why I've been able to go from a state of a low vibration to a state of acceptance. I'm now pushing to go into an even higher vibration of love and joy, and that takes a lot. That takes a lot of healing, a lot of growth, and a lot of concentration and real gratitude. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm very close to it. And another thing I wanted to say to people is that one way that you can truly help yourself to achieve the goal is that you can wire yourself to be supported by your friends, your family, and your loved ones. And a lot of the time people, when they're going for a goal or they're growing, they get pushback from people who've written them off. But what I want to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, is that the people who write you off don't believe in themselves. So it isn't really about you, it's about they don't believe in themselves, and they would rather write somebody off because they don't want to see somebody better than them. It's quite true, it's sad, but it's the reality. People genuinely do not want to see, certain people do not want to see others better than them. I am personally not like that. I want to see people doing very well, being happy and blessed in what they do. So what I would say is that forgiveness is one of the tools that really helps to repel that kind of energy, because if you're in a state of high vibration and acceptance, you can repel that negative energy straight away. But what you do is you wire yourself up to all the people that do support you, do love you, your friends, your good friends, your close friends, your family, your relatives, your role models who you're looking up to in the self-education realm, such as T.D. Jakes, Tony Robbins, Ed Milet, Emily Fletcher from Mind Valley, Vishen Lakhani, Mike Melio. He's somebody I've looked up to as well. Look him up. He's a very good entrepreneur who has a great story. And you wire yourself to all of those people that do support you, all those positive things. You then get into that connection of being supported by so many people who have your back. But then you also believe in yourself, because you have wired yourself to believe in yourself. Once you wire yourself to believe in yourself and you have that acceptance, your self-belief conquers any kind of doubt. Because what you do is once you forgive that thing, you let off a weight, you let off a weight, you let off a weight, but you don't let anybody come into there, into that energy field of your self-belief, because that is yours, that is your emotional home. You should not let anybody who you do not want into your emotional home. You must only connect with people who you do want to socialize with in your emotional home. Be very mindful of your thoughts and be very mindful of who is in your circle. Do not let negative people into your emotional home. This is your sanctuary. Just like you have your own home and you have cups of tea and water. This is good water, right? So this is good water. Guess what? I'm pouring in good waters. And that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping my emotional home clean. And that's what meditation does for you. That's what the power of self-education can do for you. It can push you towards your goals and get you past fear. Because that goal is standing right here, and all that's in the way is noise. It isn't really anything other than that. It's what I say, it isn't anything other than that. What's standing in the way is a lack of resourcefulness and maybe some resources which you will need to get to the goal, but of course resourcefulness and the self-belief. So here's that goal, and here you are. What's standing in between is that belief, the resources, being resourceful, taking action, following through and getting it. But after you take action and follow through, it's grace, to get the outcome that you want. And that's really the power of self-education. It actually teaches you how you can succeed. And if you have all of these great habits day in, day out, your body now trains yourself to actually enjoy learning. A lot of us did not enjoy learning. A lot of us looked at it as a pressure. A lot of us looked at it as a way of we're being over pressurized, we don't enjoy it. And it's probably the reason why a lot of us truly would rather not wake up in the morning on a weekend. People don't want to wake up on a morning in the weekend purely because, they've been wired to get up early and go here, and they don't like being told what to do in all day. You train yourself out of that, and you get yourself to where you understand it is your time now. It is your time. Nobody else has this time. This is your time to take charge. You are taking charge of your time. This goes for anybody and anything in your life that you want to go for. I'm looking to go into a relationship. If I start getting up at midday, how attractive is that to a lady? So it's the same thing. I'm looking to push forward on my fitness goals. I've got to get up on time. I've reached a point where, like I was saying to my friend yesterday, we were having a very good chat, man to man, and I was saying I've reached a point where I don't even like a lion on the weekend. I might like a couple hours, but once I'm well slept and well rested, I'm up. I'm up 8 o'clock. I'm up 8:30, 8 o'clock. I ain't got to be asleep until 10 anymore, because it just doesn't make sense. As an adult and as a person who, works hard all week at my job, we got to work just as hard on ourselves. If you're going to show up on time to your job, and if you're going to show up and give your best at your job, give your best for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, give your best for you. I'm not saying burn the midnight oil. I'm not saying 5 a.m. club, 5 hours sleep, no rest at all. I'm saying get 8 solid hours of sleep, meditate, eat healthy, drink plenty of water every day, educate yourself, stay focused on things such as self-education, people that can teach you how to go towards your goal, people that have done it. Role model the people that you see doing exactly what you want to do, the exact same way that you want to. So in other words, I'm here on this podcast as a fitness coach. You're role modeling me. But who have I role modeled to get to this point? I've role modeled the likes of Dwayne Johnson, Terry Crews. I've role modeled the likes of, let's say, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins as well. I've modeled the likes of Vin Diesel. I've modeled the likes of people who are actually in that field, masculine men who train and want to get in shape. I've role modeled, a lot of people to get in shape. I role modeled my own personal trainer and I learned everything from them and became good enough and strong enough to where I could do it for myself. I role modeled the likes of, let's say, in self-education, I've role modeled the likes of, Joel Osteen. I've role modeled the likes of TD Jakes. I've role modeled the likes of uh, Mike Melia, Joseph McClendon. Um, Quite a few people actually in personal development. I have truly role modeled a lot of people who were exactly where I want to be in terms of their goals, how they feel, how they are, and I went towards it. And that's what I'm sharing with you now. I'm sharing with you as the coach of immunity for the community. This is how you can get in shape. This is how you can finally break through those limiting beliefs, because what's stopping you from it is just that. It's just that, honestly. If you can wire this energy good, you can get yourself to follow through on anything. And once you start following through on anything, you'll be able to create boundaries for yourself. You'll be able to have breaks, congratulate yourself, and then follow through when it is time to work. That is the power of self-education. It is actually rewarding. It is actually a rewarding, and you get gratification from how hard you work, as opposed to the traditional way, which is work, 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 get the outcome, and then maybe I'll congratulate you. You have to love yourself first. Yeah, you have to love yourself first. Nobody else is going to do that for you. We've all got loved ones, and fingers crossed, prayers up that everybody else does have loved ones. Prayers up for anybody who's feeling it right now. I hope that you do have people around you that do support you and do love you. But you got to love yourself. You can't wait for that goal to arrive to then love yourself. You must love yourself now. And if you love yourself now, you'll make that goal happen. You'll find a way. Because if there's already enough resources, if there's enough resources, time, and if there is also the ability for you to focus, you're going to make it happen. You're going to make it happen. Trust me. I've been there. I've done that. And I can tell you, I have overcome many things to get to where I am today. And that's why I'm the coach of immunity for the community. It's been a pleasure to serve all of you amazing people. As I would say, everybody, channel your inner Rocky. Bye-bye now. I hope you have an amazing rest of the weekend. Enjoy the England game. Let's hope we do it tonight. Bye.